So, hey guys, thanks for checking us out. My name is Derek and I'm the co-founder of the Hacker Collective. Today I have a very, very interesting individual with me. His name is David, one of the top streetwear resellers in Malaysia, right? And today it's all about talking about his journey. How did he get into it? How can you do it too, right? And before we go into the Q&A session with David, just want to briefly share with you guys what the Hacker Collective is all about. Hacker Collective is a place where people come together to train their hacker mindset. So when I say hacker mindset, I don't mean people hacking PCs and doing bad things, making people unhappy. I mean people who come together to find ways to make things work even when they are not fully qualified for it. So in short, it's how the common layman like yourself, like David, like myself can do it too, right? So without further ado, David, yo, how are you doing?
Yo, what's up, bro? How are you, man? I'm
I'm
good.
good, man. Dude, so what's keeping you busy lately, man?
Just working on my limited website, lor, which is taking up most of my time, and like my main business, which is Svn.kl, all about the reselling sneakers one. That's
Oh,
working
okay.
at the moment.
So awesome, man. I mean, I think a lot of people don't know what 7KL or Limited is, but maybe a brief background about how you got into the scene and then slowly walk us through how do you start the company from the
Basically,
start.
I think I always found like sneakers interesting. I'm a sneaker collector myself at heart. So, but back then I couldn't afford what I want, right? Because like all the nice things normally they aren't cheap. So like what got me into reselling, I think was like 4 or 5 years ago when I went to UK to study. Then I realized like there's actually profit to be made in this whole sneaker community where like whereas like let's say there's a shoe set releasing, like let's say a pair of Yeezys, right? Like the retail price would be about 180 pounds, which is like about 1,000 ringgit. So like if you manage to get a pair for retail, you are able to resell it upwards towards like 2,000 or 3,000. So you make a pretty decent profit of about like 1,000 to 2,000 ringgits, right? So that's what got me into reselling last. I saw like the profit margin was very interesting. So that's where I started. But obviously, when you first start, like there's a lot of like bumps along the way. Like you say then it's easy lah. Like you think everyone can get 1,000 ringgit pair of Yeezys for retail and resell for 2,000. It's not that simple, right? A lot of work has to be put into like methods or ways of how to cop these sneakers for retail. But yeah, that's where I started reselling when I first went to UK 4 years
Awesome.
ago, and that gradually snowballed into what it is today.
Wow, awesome, man. I mean, I'm not so much into streetwear, but I know one pair of shoes can go upwards of 1,000, 2,000 ringgit or even pounds, right? How do you even get the first batch of money? How do you collect your first bunch of investors or how do you get that money?
This this one is a bit tricky because it's not really recommended, but basically what it was I took the risk and I took the tuition fees that my parents gave me for uni. I invested all of it into reselling before paying my tuition fees back. So I remember the date I requested for a deadline extension to pay my tuition fees because I hadn't liquidated all my stock yet from all the sneakers. But yeah,
Wow.
that's where I got my first investment from, which is literally my tuition fees.
Did they know about it or no?
Nah. They would probably kill me for it, but it,
Or you took the bet, you took
yes,
the risk and made it happen, lah.
yeah.
Well, did you do it yourself the whole time? Do you have friends together with you? Because for yourself to go and do this alone, I think it's really interesting. I think it's very inspiring. Were there people backing you, friends or partners?
Yeah. I wouldn't say partners, but when we first started out, it was with a group of friends who I met in my university actually. So basically, what we did was like we would go to London and camp out for releases. Cause like let's say I go and camp out myself, like I can only get one pair because it's one pair per
Yeah.
person, right? But if I bring a bunch of friends, say we might be able to cop like 6 7 pairs, and then overall, if it's a team, then we get to get more Yeezys for retail, lah, obviously. And like let's say, as most of the limited drops, most of the systems they do like a raffle system. So you put in your name, your email, all your details, and if you are the winner, then they'll ship out a pair of Yeezys to you. And if you're a one-man team, you can't really bring you far. It's like you can only get what like one pair, but if it's you can get more. yeah, but basically I did it with my uni friends but afterwards I think they wanted to focus on their studies more, then it became a one man team.
Damn, man, this is really interesting. So you started off yourself and really crafted a career out of it for yourself. So before we move on, also, which uni were you from for the watchers, for the people watching?
Oh, I went to University of Warwick.
What do you do?
Oh, I did biomedicine.
Wow. Okay. Want to tell us a bit about why do you choose this degree?
Uh, I think since SPM and A levels, I always thought I liked science, particularly like more on like biomedicine, about the how our human bodies work. But then there's actually a fine line between having an interest for a particular subject and actually don't mind doing it for the rest of your life. So throughout my degree, I think no, it wasn't even true. I think by the end of the first year, I already know that I did not want anything to do with biomedicine after I graduate. So that's when I started to shift my focus more towards my sneaker business.
Wow. Okay. Just wondering as well, how's the industry? How's the landscape like today? If someone watching this video today, studying in UK, right, wanted to repeat the steps you did, right, are they able to do it, or would you say no? It's too competitive now. What do you think?
You can try, but nowadays it's really really hard to be able to do what we were doing 4 years ago, as the market is super saturated right now. So like your chances of getting even one pair is very difficult to get basically, because as more and more eyeballs are turned towards the streetwear market, right? Because of the recent collabs that Nike and Adidas have been doing, all the PR and marketing, like a lot of eyeballs have started to look into this streetwear market and realize like, hey, there's actually profit to be made. It's not just like, oh, shoes aren't just something that you just put on your feet and then like that's it. You can actually look at sneakers as an investment. Whereas, let me give you an example. If let's say this pair of Nike Air Jordans released for like 650 today, right? If you manage to get a pair and if you bought the right shoe over a few years, your 650 ringgit investment might be worth 5,000. So you made
Wow.
like almost a 10x increase in your investment. So yeah, it's definitely bringing a lot more eyeballs to the market. And one of the cons is getting very saturated. So, but yeah, like, I'm not stopping anyone from trying. You can try, just that it'd be a lot more harder nowadays.
Awesome, man. Since we're on this topic, do you mind sharing with us what was the biggest gains you had in one investment?
Uh, in one investment, I think would be the Off-White Jordan ones that released in 2017. I paid retail, which was I think about 800 or 900 ringgit after conversion, and today the same pair is worth 20,000. So
Wow.
I made a 20x gain just from this pair of shoes.
That's awesome, man. I mean, well, if that's the case, why did you still invest? Do you invest your money elsewhere as well? Other asset
Yeah,
classes.
yeah, yeah. Of course, of course. You know me at heart. I'm a big fan of Tesla. So yeah, I invest a lot in Tesla.
Invest a lot of Tesla. Did Tesla give you enough returns to compete with your returns from sneakers?
No, no, definitely not. Tesla is more of like just how I look at Tesla as like a savings account. So I would just like dollar cost average my money into Tesla. Whereas sneakers, like yes, you can say that, oh, if you do get this pair for like 800 bucks and it becomes 20,000 over 4 years, yeah, that's definitely possible. But the thing is, it's not something that you can keep putting money in towards, 'Cause, like what are the odds that every time you're able to like land a pair of shoes at 800 and it will 20x into 20k? There's a lot of like risk involved lah. So yeah,
Mm.
most of my money in Tesla instead of sneakers.
Awesome, awesome. I remember last time, David, you shared with me this really interesting thing when you just found out I started to learn how to code. You told me something about using bots and paying a ton of money for bots to get these shoes, right? Because if you queue up yourself, you can only get 1 to 2 pairs, and that's how you really scale up your business, right? Can you share?
Yeah.
Bots? Are you comfortable sharing a little bit of bots for our techie friends out there, just to inspire them to see, what are the things they can even do with the?
Oh,
with
yeah, for sure. So basically, in the sneaker community, there's this segment, there's this group of people, like they are called botters, right? They are not developers, they are just users, just like not you, like just like an average Joe. They don't know how to code. But what they are doing is they will buy like bots from the sneaker market and attempt to, basically it's like cheating the system. So let's say I can give a very straightforward example, all right? So like let's say Nike releases a very limited pair of Jordan 1s, right? So they don't do it by first come first serve, as the site's gonna crash, it's gonna lag, right? So what they do is they do it by a Leo raffle. So let's say the drop is at 9 a.m. So on 9 a.m. you're ready at your computer. Once once it hits 9 a.m., let's say you try and check out a pair of Jordans in your size UK8, right? So what happens is they place your name into this live raffle system, into this pool. So your name together with all the other people who wants to get a pair of UK8, you'll be in this pool, right? And so this pool is going to be active for like 30 minutes, and it's going to close after 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, what they do is they randomly select people from this pool who have the access to purchase this pair of Jordan 1s for 650. So how do botters do it? So within the 30-minute time frame, they have a script which allows them to enter as many accounts as they can. So imagine you as an end user, you really like this pair of Jordan 1s, right? You try to go for it. Your chances of actually winning is 1 out of like 10,000. Like the chances are really minuscule, right? But if you have a script and you are able to enter like multiple accounts, let's say within the 30-minute time frame, you manage to enter like 2,000 accounts, your chances of winning increases to like 20%. So
Damn.
yeah, that's one of the examples of.
So is it safe to say that for a beginner to come into play, they need at least the amount of money to invest in this botting scripts?
For a beginner trying to make like some like lunch money, or like just a passive income, right? You don't actually need bots. What I would suggest is just go for the most easiest way is to sign up for sneaker raffles, right? Sneaker raffles are one of the most fair methods that all these retailers are doing to ensure that the chances for an end user to get a pair for retail. But obviously the chances are very slim, but at least you won't be facing issues like all these online drops where all these bots enter like thousands of accounts. So yeah, I'll definitely suggest to go and just sign up for sneaker raffles. But
Awesome.
if you do have a bit of like upfront capital, you can definitely invest in a bot. But let me just put it out here, as it's not financial advice. Investing in a sneaker bot does not guarantee 100% chance of getting a pair for retail. So you need to be prepared to take L's. What we call L's in this sneaker,
Loss.
L stands for loss. You need to be prepared to take L's. And once first you learn, then you remove the L, then you earn. That's what.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Cool. You mentioned just now that comparing how the sneaker industry has evolved over the years, right? It's getting really saturated today. And I know because I see you back when you first started and when you told me about it, it was like still very new. But over time, I'm seeing so many people around me doing it as well. So I know for sure it's getting saturated. What is your plan and to fix this? What are you working on now to overcome this?
Right. So the thing is, right, for me myself, I'm more of a community type of person. So like, cause I've already made, not to say I've made enough, but I'm living very comfortably now. So like I don't really need to go and like like go up against everyone with all the newcomers and try to flush them off. That's not what I intend to do, right? So which brings us to Limitd, right? Which is Malaysia's first virtual sneaker marketplace for users to transact, to buy and sell sneakers. And that's what I'm really working on right now. As for Malaysians, the current issues that most sneakerheads in Malaysia face, one of the big problem is when they try to get a particular shoe, they go through the whole tedious process of like authenticating it and making sure that the seller doesn't scam him, doesn't just take his money and just like block him or whatsoever. Likewise, on the seller's end, we are trying to give sellers the best payout possible. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are new to the sneaker industry. You manage to get a pair for retail for 650, right? So you go and okay, now you want to sell it. You want to make profit. So you go into platforms like big names like StockX, right? And you check out like, okay, so on StockX is selling for like, let's say 1,000, right? And you decide like, hey, not bad, I'm going to make 350 off this investment of mine. So you attempt to sell your pair on StockX. But what happens next, right? So when you actually attempt to sell your pair on StockX, there's a lot of fees involved. There's transaction fees, there's authentication fees, there's processing fees, there's international shipping fees. So after you take out all this cost, right, from 1,000 ringgit, you're really not left with much, right? So in the end, you might make up, you might only make like about what, 750, which is not good, as all the 250 ringgit, it goes towards fees for StockX, right? I'm not shitting on StockX. StockX is doing a great job, but
And for those who are watching, StockX is an international reselling platform as well for sneakers. So yeah, David, that sounds really scary, right? Imagine doing a business and selling a shoe and ending up paying up to 25 to 30% just for the transaction cost. That's crazy, right? So how are Malaysian people doing it today without Limitd?
right. So right now, because Limitd is still in it's very early phase, it's still in MVP one. So most of the Malaysians, what they do nowadays is they sell it on Facebook groups, right? Cause the best part about Facebook groups is there's no transaction fees involved, right? It's literally you post a listing up on Facebook and say, hey, I have this pair of Jordan ones. I want to sell it at 1,000, right? Feel free to negotiate. If you are happy, I'm happy. After I receive the payment from you, I ship the product out to you. And hopefully that this is the best case scenario, right? Of a successful transaction. But then again, things can go very wrong in a split second. So I can explain on this a bit more. So basically what happens I'm just gonna touch a bit on like how can this go wrong, right? So first thing first, as from a buyer's point of view, how do you trust this random stranger on the internet that after you transfer your money into his bank account, he's just going to run away from it and not ship your product out? That's one of the biggest factor that people on Facebook buying are trying to be aware of, which is to not get scammed. Whereas for sellers, it's the hassle of having to list multiple products and keeping track of it all the time, right? So imagine as a seller, you're trying to sell your product on Facebook, right? At the same time, there's at least 10,000 other sellers doing the exact same thing, right? And I'm sure you don't have the time to go and post and list your listings every single day. So these are the main issues faced by sneakerheads in Malaysia, and Limitd is here to resolve all these issues and provide a better experience for both buyers and sellers in the sneaker industry.
Damn, that's interesting. David, also, I know you run a sneaker community, right? Of a very big sneaker community, right? A lot of people, more than 50K people, right? Which I think is
Yeah,
really
yeah.
interesting. So would you say that the goal of Limitd is to eventually onboard everyone away from the Facebook, traditional way of transacting and just bring everyone on Limitd? And what is your pitch to those people to bring them on board?
I think Limitd serves its role to to be the leader in Malaysia in terms of like, hey, today I want to buy a pair of sneakers. But where do I go to? First thing that comes to my mind is Limited. That's what Limited goals is. And likewise for the seller, we want to remove all of these issues because like from feedback from my sneaker community on Facebook, most of them have been complaining like they aren't getting the best payouts and like it's a real hassle to every day to go and like repost their listings over and over again. So yeah, the goal of Limited is to eliminate all these problems for everyone.
For everyone, yeah. If a brand new beginner, right, says that, hey, look, David, this is cool, right? I don't have bots. I cannot go to Raffles because I don't know what's going on, right? I want to start just on Limited. Can I start my kind of like sneaker reselling career on Limited?
As a seller?
As a beginner, as a trader, I make my full-time income on it eventually, right? Based on your
yeah. So your goal is to make passive income off Limited.
passive or active. I want to make a full-time income. Let's say I'm a fresh grad now making, let's say, 5,000 ringgit per month. I want to make that amount. Can I?
Yeah.
do
That's very like I'm not capping, but to make 5,000 a month.
What's capping, David?
I'm not exaggerating, but to make 5,000 a month is easily doable if you put in the effort. So
For a complete beginner.
yes. But
Nice.
obviously it's back to the saying. First you learn, then you remove the L.
Yeah.
For everything, I believe in every industry, you need to put in the amount of work first before you start seeing results. Yeah, you can't expect people to spoon feed you like, hey, go for this sneaker. Hey, sign up for this sneaker. Buy this sneaker. Right?
Yeah. You know, currently it's COVID season for the past 1.5 years. It's crazy. People are losing jobs. Businesses are closing down. People are going broke, bankrupt, right? What about yourself? Is your business affected?
Yeah. It's definitely affected in the sense of like, cause what's the reason people buy shoes for? Is to wear it and go out, right? Like, like hey, I've got a really pair of nice sneakers. I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna wear this to the mall. I'm gonna wear this to the park. Whatever, right? But with COVID, the chances of you going out is basically zero. So this has been putting off a lot of my clients from buying sneakers. So
But
yeah,
would you still say a complete beginner still has a market to go into?
yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Awesome, man, David. I mean, for yourself, from a from a non-startup background, I would say, right? From a traditional, you're just a traditional Malaysian kid growing up traditionally, right? From a Chinese school, and then you went into a private school after that. So, obviously you were not from this kind of entrepreneurial backgrounds. I want to understand also, how was your learning journey like? Be it for the reselling side, where you resell your sneakers, and be it and also on the startup side, where you do deal with tech, deal with design, deal with the digital marketing side of things, right? How do you learn up all these things?
You lah. So I have to give credit to Derek. Derek definitely helped me a lot on this entrepreneur journey just for Limited itself. Because for Svn.kl, like reselling sneakers is pretty straightforward, right? If you manage to get a pair for retail, you can, after you do a research how much this pair goes for, you can sell it for X amount, and boom, that's it. You make your profit, and that's it.
No,
right?
but that's different. You see, if I compare you with a lot of other resellers out there, you have a good brand, right? You have your community of like 80K people. You have an Instagram page of like 12,000 people, right? All these numbers, they add up to your credibility. And I feel this is different. This is what sets you apart. So what actually got you, who taught you to even stand out and all this marketing strategy? Who taught you all these things?
I wouldn't say is in like there's not a specific individual in terms of like who taught me this and that, but it's more for like you learn along the way. Like everyone has to start out small somewhere, so you gradually grow your credibility. Like the more deals you make, right, the more references you have, then yeah, it's a snowballing effect. You gradually get more and more credibility, like and that's how to really, it's more about how to market your brand itself in general. And one thing about sneaker reselling, the most important part of it is actually customer feedback and reviews. So Like, let's say I have this pair of sneakers, right? I'm selling it for 1,000 ringgit, right? But there's a kid out there, right? There's a beginner out there, right? He's only selling it for 800, right? But people are still willing to buy it from me and pay the premium of 200.
Yep.
Why are they willing to do that? It's because of my credibility and my reviews. They know that if they transfer 1,000 to me, they just need to wait at home and wait to receive their product. Whereas for 800 bucks, like they might face a lot of like issues, like what if the kid decides to just scam the guy, right? So when it comes to this, people are definitely more willing to pay a slight premium on top for the assurance that they get their money's worth.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, cool. Do you think a marketing or business degree would have helped you in your journey?
Yeah. And to think about it, right? Like I thought like if I were to do a degree related more in like business, finance, or like digital marketing, I think would have like benefited me way more than doing biomedicine. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. But you still fared pretty well yourself without a degree
Yeah, it's
compared to
alright.
the other players in the market.
Alright.
That's awesome, right? Cool, man. Awesome. And just now you mentioned a lot. You were touching a little bit about. Don't mind if this call is going a bit long, right? Because very interesting topic. Want to find out more. But you were talking a little bit about passive income, right? You said things are getting a bit more stable now, and you built a system around your business, right? I want to know as well. Were there any challenges throughout your years, or was everything smooth sailing?
No, it's definitely not smooth sailing. Of course, if that were the case, everyone would be millionaires right now, right? Right. Yeah, but basically, there's on the front end, like yes, it's all like wow, sneaker reselling is so profitable. It's so easy to make money, right? Like all this good stuff going on. But on the back end, there's actually a lot of like hiccups and bumps along the way. So I don't mind sharing. Basically, one of the biggest problems that a lot of people in the industry are facing is logistics actually. So if you ship a product out, right, the buyer has paid you, but the logistics company, I'm not going to name any names, but if the courier messes up and the parcel goes missing, right, it's on you, right? So that's straight up. You just lost money just like that. And it's a really this happens really frequently in the market. So I've definitely had my fair share of L's in terms of like missing parcels and all that. But yeah, that's one of the problems that we face.
Awesome. So I want to ask, if say something happened to 7KL, your main business now, right? Would you ever go back to working? Or what are your plans?
Right. So very good question actually. So if 7KL were to fail one day, I still don't think I will ever go back to working a 9 to 5 job I just don't think it's for me. I like to take risks, right? Like for a 9 to 5 job, you have a stable income. I get that. A lot of people find that very assuring, but for me, I just like to take risks. So if let's say even if 7KL were to just one day just completely go like bankrupt, I think I would still venture into like a new business, but hopefully it doesn't happen.
Awesome. Good to hear. So I heard you're expanding your team for 7KL and for Limited, right? Things are going well. You want to start building a better process to your business. If someone wants to look for, what's the number one trait you look for when it comes to hiring your team members?
When it comes to hiring, right? Like what I can relate to Derek is that we don't really look for qualifications, right? We honestly don't really care that much about whether like your degree is stacked, your portfolio is stacked. You have been doing like all this like amazing stuff. Yeah, that's cool. But that's for the corporate world, right? You want to like if you want to impress like the big four, Magic Circle, all that, go ahead. But it's not for us, right? So what we really value is results, and you need to be willing to learn. That's one of the most important traits that we look out for. Right? You need to be very willing to learn new skills along the way.
So whatever it is in the business, right, when there's a demand, be it design or marketing, even if you don't know, we say it's okay, right? Go and take the
Yeah,
effort.
it's okay. You can come join us, but you need to be willing to learn and to know when to accept that you are lacking in this particular sector. If not, you're just wasting everyone's time and you're making a fool out of yourself. Because like there's a lot of like again, I'm not shitting on any graduates with stacked degrees, but you can have an amazing degree, but when you go into the working field, right? You're a baby. You're an infant, right? You know nothing, right?
Yeah.
So for employers like me and Derek, like would I take on someone who does not have a degree, but he has working experience, he has internship experience, he knows how to tackle like problems like A or B, right? Compared to a graduate who has a stacked degree but he knows nothing. I would definitely go for the previous one we just spoke about.
Completely agree, man. Awesome, man, David. I think this has been a really cool conversation. I have one last question, which is if someone were to join, someone wants to start their sneaker business, right? And I believe you do share tips on, your what do you call it? What do you call it again? Your estimations of what the price of that shoe will be.
Price
What do you-
predictions. Yeah.
Yes, sorry, my bad. So price predictions. How accurate would you say your price predictions are? And if someone wants to come in, right, can they rely on your price? Let's say, for example, right, you posted let's say a pair of Jordans. Let's say you put 1,000 ringgit. You predict it's gonna be 2,000 ringgit, and retail is 1,000 ringgit, right? Can I, as a complete beginner, just take your word for it? And is there a way I can maybe pay you some money to get some insider tips? Just wondering.
First of all, you don't need to pay me anything to get this kind of information. I'm giving out for free actually. So you can check out the link, which is you can put it here if you want later. Is Limited Sneakers, LIMITD sneakers on Instagram, where we post like resale predictions on like sneakers, how much they might go for, like that kind of stuff. As to can you take my word for it? No, but I'm very accurate most of the time. So yeah, like take it with a pinch of salt. But then if you see like if 10 pairs of sneakers released and I'm spot on like 8 out of 9, then you know whether if I'm accurate or not.
Is it as simple as look? I thought also if we to break it down and dumb it down to 3 simple steps, is it as simple as this? Step 1, follow limited sneakers. Step 2, look at your predictions. Step 3, go to limited and buy the damn shoe. But add one more step. Step 4, sell your shoes when the shoes are released. Is it as simple as that?
Again, not financial advice, but yes. If you want to put it that way, yes, it is. You can literally go on to limited, look at the sneaker. If the sneaker's current price is under my resale prediction, there's a fair chance that if you buy that sneaker and after a few months you'll be able to make money off it. Yes.
That's crazy, right? You think of it, a shoe, let's say if you buy a 1,000 ringgit shoe and you resell it in 2 months for 1,500, that's like a 50% return, right? The
Yes.
stock market gives you 7% a year on average, right? And this is just crazy. So I feel, more people should check it out. So awesome. Hey, David, thanks for your time. I think this has been a really, really awesome chat. I learned a lot more about your business, and I'm sure the viewers will learn a lot as well. Do you have a closing message or a closing note for people watching?
I would say for you, for the listeners out there who like wow, what is this going on? I would definitely say before you attempt to actually put money into this, you definitely need to do research, or you might get burned really, really fast, right? You might buy the wrong sneaker and you might lose money. Like again, like this whole sneaker industry is very similar to a stock market. So you definitely need to do your own research before putting up money into any form of investment.
Awesome, man. So thank you so much, David. And for the viewers out there, anyone who wants to finally break out of, maybe you're unhappy with your job or you want to break into entrepreneurship and all that, right? Feel free, you have your coach here, your Shifu here, right? Feel free to drop him a message and learn from him on how you can embark on this journey, making your money online, trading sneakers. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks, David. Appreciate the time.
No worries,
And,
man. Take care.
yeah,
Bye-bye.
thanks. Bye.